Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another Reddit Ask Me Anything. We are brought to you today by Jomi Escoboza. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother? How's everything?
It's great, man. The Archangel. Where'd they come up with that nickname for you?
So, basically, my mom named me Michael after the Archangel Michael. So,
Okay.
I went with that, just because, it matches perfectly, and it matches perfectly with the name and just with the whole Angel of War aspect, because we all know Michael is the director of Yahuwah's army. So, he runs a whole army of the creators. So, you already know.
Did you ever watch that TV show Supernatural?
Um,
They
maybe a
have like
couple.
Michael and stuff on there. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of cool. And Michael was, like you said, the leader of like the war and like slave people. Yeah, so I thought maybe like it's perfect for you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start right off the bat. Where do you train out of? Who do you train with?
So, I train with my coach, and my manager. He's my coach manager, Ryan Perez.
Okay.
And we train out here in South Florida. Sometimes we train in KO Zone. It's a gym in Miami, and it's a gym in Miami. Sometimes we train out of we train at his house. We train any other boxing gyms around here that we're connected with and stuff like that. And yeah, and sometimes when I do train MMA as well, I go to Kill Cliff FC because they're like the best team down here that you could possibly find when it comes to high level talent, guys in the UFC, ONE FC,
Okay.
all those promotions, champions from all those promotions, and every time I train over there, it gets me ready for any kind of style.
Okay, so right now you're currently 8-1, I believe, in bare knuckle. So you're about to have your 10th fight. Did you picture yourself being like, oh, I fought 10 times, or is it like when you first started bare knuckle, was it something you just wanted to try and then like you fell in love with it, or?
No, I mean, I started bare knuckle when I was an amateur in MMA. So
Okay,
and that was when it was illegal. And then they finally legalized it. And then, I turned pro in MMA, won my first pro MMA fight. And then I kind of went on a little MMA losing streak, taking short notice fights, not really training and just not being well prepared for those fights. And then bare knuckle started to pick up as well. So, me thinking, bare knuckle's a new sport, why not, start a new record, and try to, build my name up in the sport early.
sure.
And I started off with, started doing bare knuckle fights right when it first started. And I started with BYB, won the belt
Okay.
over there. I won the tournament at 185 pounds, and then became the first 185 pound bare knuckle boxing champion in the history of the United States bare knuckle boxing as a sport. So I kind of
Right.
made that early history, and then I crossed over to BKFC to try to become the 185 pound champion here, which I am going to become the 185 pound champion. And then that'll make me the first two promotional champion, which will get me closer in talks to, because right now with the politics and everything going around with the the different promotions, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's making it harder for this to happen. But I'll be the closest to being undisputed at any weight class.
Okay.
So winning two belts and one weight class, and on both of the biggest promotions. I wish it was more, bigger promotions so we can collect more belts. Because you're like right now in pro boxing, there's four main promotional belts that if you win
Right.
all four in that weight class, you're undisputed. So
Sure.
in bare knuckle boxing, there's three promotions right now in the US that I know of. There might be more, but the third one being Valor, they're not
Sure.
as big, they're not
For
as
sure.
big as BYB or BKFC, so it's not really worth chasing that title. But I got the BYB title, came over to BKFC, and yeah, we're just climbing the ladder, getting ready to take the belt and be the first two promotional champ.
Okay, so as somebody who's fought for both organizations, is there something that is there something you wish BKFC would do that BYB did, or I mean, well, like, what's the pros and cons of both? I guess, can you speak on that?
They're both amazing promotions. they both put on great shows, give us a platform for us fighters and stuff like that. It's just I I don't know. It's weird. I love the sport of bare knuckle boxing.
Sure.
So it's just like I'm not really biased to any promotion. They're all good in their own sense. They all have their pros. They all have their differences, I would say. Um,
Mhm.
the like the Trigon is fun to fight in because you can corner people into the corner and you get somebody in the corner. I named those corners the death corner, by the way.
Okay.
So if you ever hear that, that was me that gave it. Because when I
All
trap
right.
my opponents in there, it's a bad time if you get trapped in the corners. And then it's also good to have the BKFC a square circle because it's big, it gives you that space to, move around and keep the action going. And then and yeah, so I mean they're both amazing promotions. I don't like to put any promotion down or anything like that,
Sure.
because I fought for both of them. They both did good, they both, gave me opportunities to excel in the sport and make history. So yeah, just, they're both good. They're both good promotions.
Okay, so you have a massive head of hair. Do you do your own braids and stuff, or do you have to go get it done weekly, or like what do you do?
I have to get it done multiple times a week because,
Okay.
training, sweating,
Yeah.
all that sweat, the braids end up stinking. And and yeah, I get them done by my girlfriend does my braids.
Okay.
She does an amazing job. She braids my hair, weekly, multiple times a week. But for my fights, I have a lady that does my braids, like the special designs and all that stuff. So,
Sure. When was the last time you got a haircut?
whoo! Last time I got a haircut, man, um, I would say 2010.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a long
2010.
time. So
Mm-hmm.
14 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, damn.
All right.
2010, 14 years ago. Sheesh.
Right. Okay, so with the Reddit, we like to ask people who train with you or know you to give us a question. So we talked to your last fight of the night co-star, the Mohawk. He said, "Why wouldn't you die?" He said he hit you with everything, and you just kept coming. He's like, "Why wouldn't he die? I wanted to win." He said he just wouldn't stop.
Man, it was just like I was feeling the same way because like I was gassed out in the first round because I had to gain a lot of weight for that fight
Yeah.
because I was cutting weight for the July 14th Lakeland card to
Okay.
fight at 185 pounds. So then when they gave me the last minute then they told me, "Oh, all we have is Mohawk, 2-0, 2 KOs, 205." I was just like, fuck it, whatever, man. Just give me the contract. I'll fight anybody. I didn't even really care who it was.
Yeah.
And then yeah, he's taller than me, bigger than me, walks around bigger than me. So like I was just taking proteins, just like trying to bulk up as much as possible, but I wasn't bulking up, like muscle mass. I was just more like water weight and fat and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
I did it the wrong way, but I mean it was the only way I could gain weight at the time. So in that short notice. But yeah, man, I was just hitting him. There was times where I was hitting him with those right hooks, and I was just like, damn, how the hell he's not falling off of that shit? Like, how the fuck is he still walking through it? But at the same time, like, I didn't feel like I had any power either. So like every time I'll hit him with a hook or something, it'll feel like one of those punches where in the cartoons where they fart, where you hear the fart sound. I was like,
Right.
I was like, damn, I got no power. What the hell? And this guy, and he keeps coming forward too. So with his pressure, I was trying to like, counter that pressure with more pressure. So it was just like, it was a crazy fight for sure.
Okay. So the other thing he wanted to know is where did you learn that your check hook? He said you have the best check hook he's seen.
Man, to be honest, I just been training, just training over the years with different coaches teaching me different ways of throwing the check hook. I just add, all those different styles of check hooks and stack them up on top of each other and just have like a plethora of different kinds of check hooks. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Big Ben, the ring guy, wants to know. Everybody wants a super fight now. So at 185, who would your super fight be, and where would you like that fight to take place?
Ooh, super fight, super fight. Um, man,
Are you one of those guys that wants to fight a celebrity, or are you one of those guys that'd rather fight the best of the best and go for the title?
I want the best of the best,
Sure.
and I want that money. So,
Right?
so it's like whoever could bring the biggest check,
Yeah.
I'm with it. Whoever has the biggest name that I can steal their hype, that I can steal, a little bit of fame off of them.
Yeah.
I will gladly love to fight them. A super fight, whether it's a ex UFC guy, ex, you know, champion from whatever other sport. I would love to, show my work inside the ring with them.
So I heard that Lorenzo's looking at dropping the 185 belt so he could go up to heavyweight. So I mean, you have a fight against Jared Warren. I believe right now they say Jared Warren's ranked first. You have a fight against Jared Warren in the past. Do you feel like when you win this next fight, that sets you up for maybe you and Jared Warren versus for the title fight?
Oh yeah, the rematch is
Yeah,
definitely going to happen. I'm not looking past this fight, because every fight is tough, and especially
sure.
this one is a big matchup. But I'm very confident that I will get the win. And yeah, it's gonna set up a really fun rematch between me and Warren. And yeah, that I learned my lesson the first time. I fought way too relaxed, and
Okay.
I fought way too relaxed against a hometown fighter. I wasn't fight, I was fighting away where in his hometown, and all I did was throw like single jabs. Like I did all the damage that I did. The doctor almost stopped the fight because of the cut, and that was all because of just single jabs. Not even like being tricky with my jab or anything. It
Mhm.
was a fight where not even I never fought like that in my amateurs. So it was a good little motivational push from there on to never fight too relaxed, to always have urgency, always come forward, stop doing that backwards fighting shit, just press forward. Always, I threw more punches, landed more punches, and did more damage, but fighting a hometown guy, it's not enough. You gotta, make it clear.
Sure. So I mean, you hate to get a loss, but it sounds like it's one of those things where a loss actually taught you way more, and you're such a better
Hmm.
fighter for it. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. That after that fight, man, I'm telling you, when the last bell rung, I looked
Mhm.
down at my left hand and I'm just like, you fucking idiot, Jomi. Look at this club. Look at this club that I have, and I
Right,
didn't even use it. I'm like, you fucking idiot. You didn't even use this. What are you doing? Look at all the damage you did to his face.
right.
You didn't even use this shit. You could have been stopped the fight. You fucking idiot. So, it's a good motivational push now. Now, I always think about that fight and get angry and just motivated and just let's go.
Okay, so do you do anything special to like build up your knuckles, or is it just natural? Like that's what your hands look like?
No, so we do a lot of knuckle conditioning, push-ups on knuckles, punching trees. But whenever you punch trees or any kind of hard objects, you always have to have something in front of it that gives. So it's like
Sure.
maybe a bag full of gravel or a bag full of sand, or maybe just fold the towel and wrap it around and like tie it around a tree and punch the
Okay.
towel. But yeah, I've always been conditioning my knuckles like that because my first martial art was Kung Fu. So in
Okay.
Kung Fu there's a lot of hand conditioning and just making your hands tough. A lot of push-ups on my fingers too. I do finger
Okay.
push-ups too that help a lot. So yeah, so a lot of work on conditioning the knuckles and making sure the bones are strong because we want to be able to slice people up as soon as we touch them.
Do you remember the first time you were ever in a street fight, being like back in school, or like do you remember the first time you've ever been in a street fight and how did it go?
Um, yeah, the first time I would say street fight. It was like elementary school doesn't count, does it? No.
I think it counts. I mean, I always phrase it as, do you remember the first time you punched somebody out of anger? I guess you know what I mean. Like you just got in a
Yeah.
fight.
So it was this one kid. So my cousin, one of my cousins, he had came from DR, moved from DR over here,
Okay.
and he was in the in my same class. And then since he moved from DR, the language barrier, he only spoke Spanish, didn't really speak English too much. There used to be some kids that would make fun of him and stuff like that because of that.
Okay.
So then I would let him know like, yo, this kid's like making fun of you and stuff like that. It, I, if you want, smack the shit out of him or whatever. And then my
Sure.
cousin's like, all right, shit. If he's talking shit, I'm gonna smack the shit out of him. So he goes up to him, whoa, smacks the shit out of him, and then runs away. At the time, it was funny because my cousin was like the fastest kid in school at the time. So
Right.
the kid would chase after my cousin around the portables, around the portables and shit. Couldn't catch him.
Sure.
So my cousin would do this for like he did it for like a week straight. After school, the kid will see him walking. He'll say some shit. My cousin will just walk up to him, like not even say anything. Just walk up to him like this and go, "What?" And just run to the kid couldn't, and then to the kid couldn't catch him. And then the Friday of that week, the kid ends up like meeting us like a little bit down the street from the school. And there's
Okay.
like a bunch of kids like walking with us and stuff, like the group of kids that walk home. And
Sure.
then he pushes my cousin into the middle of the street and a van almost hits him, like
Oh
one of the
wow.
school vans. But thankfully it was around the school, and the cars were driving slow and stuff like that. The lady gets out of the car. She's like one of the students' moms, and she's like, "Oh my God, why would you do that? This and that." And then that's when
Yeah.
I push the kid and square up with him, and then he squares up, and everybody's like, "Oh, fight, 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 fight!" And then
Right.
he threw a punch. I jumped back and I basically did a pullback two. Boom,
Okay.
dropped him on his ass, and he was just looking up. Everybody's like, "Oh!" And then that's when like more parents were coming, and everybody just scattered after that. But that was basically the first fight that I really had.
Fun. Okay, so we've talked to quite a few fighters who, they say like fighting's great, but you have to have a job to support it. I know you do. You're big in the real estate, and you were telling me that you also drive for a living. So can you tell us what you do? And
Yeah, so I work real estate here in Florida. Based out of South Florida, but I work all over Florida in case of,
okay,
clients need. And then in between training sessions and working with clients, showing houses and stuff, I'll turn on the Uber app and take some trips, and drive some people because it's only like free promo, for my real
sure,
estate, hand out my business cards. And then I also, let people know about my fights and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of people that I already got, that are become fans, from right taking trips on the Uber. And then just building up my fans and clientele just like that because real estate, everybody needs a place to stay, so
sure.
just using Uber as a free promotion, free promo.
That's actually really smart. Do you have any horror stories from Uber or?
Oh man, thankfully no, man, because I've heard so much,
Yeah,
from riders and drivers, and I'm just like, oh man, I've dodged plenty of bullets. But I would say the craziest one was maybe when I went to go pick up some girl, and when I get there, like all her friends are like, holding her up by her shoulders and shit like that, and she looked like she was out of it. She was probably like drunk or some shit like that.
sure.
And then they put her in the back seat, and I guess the friends ordered the ride and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna take my friend to a rehab center, this and
Oh
that."
wow,
As soon as I said rehab center, I was just like, "Oh man, this girl's probably drugged out." Like,
sure,
hope. So then, I was already feeling kind of worried that, I was having to, drive this girl that's like all drugged up, or I don't know what kind of state of mind she's in. And
right.
then by the time that her friends like put her inside the car and they're like explaining to me, like where she's going and stuff like that, the other friends that were like I guess that were there watching her,
Hmm.
they ended up saying like, "Oh, she's unresponsive. She's unresponsive." I was like, I turned around, I'm like, "Oh my God." So I'm like,
Don't
yo,
put her in the car.
just call 911. You know, they call the ambulance. I at least stayed there until the ambulance came to pick her up. But I kind of
Sure.
I dodged a big bullet because I could have easily, you know, drove her. And then
Yeah.
halfway there, I look back and then, like she's just like passed out or unconscious.
Or
So I'm
dead.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, or dead. And supposedly she how do you call it? She overdosed
Okay.
before like I got over there. So yeah, man, it was just pretty
That would have been
crazy.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm up here in northern Wisconsin, and I saw Brian Duran posted a whole bunch about like the aliens down there in Miami. And Ryan Reber loves a good conspiracy theory, and he was like, "Ask Jomi about the aliens." So the aliens, what do you think's going on down there? Did you hear anything? You know anybody that was there, or
I don't know anybody that was there. I only heard what you know what was posted on social media.
sure?
There's supposedly some people that say they saw some kids, a group of kids playing with some kind of jukebox or
Yeah.
something, and they were talking about turning it on. They pressed some button, turned it on, and like some portal opened up. I don't know. They saw a leg come out of it. Like it's a crazy thing. There's like multiple people saying like similar
Right.
stories as to like they saw a bunch of kids, you know, playing with a box and bunch of lights flashing and stuff like that. It could have been fireworks, it could have been what, but I don't know. But the way the amount of cops that were over there, that went
Right.
over there, the way they're trying to silence everything. I don't know if you noticed, but it looks like from my perspective, it looks like they're trying to silence the whole event or the whole
Sure.
thing that happened. And yeah, it's just very weird. It makes you want to like dig into it and like find out more details.
Well, it's weird because being up here, I heard, oh, some kids were fighting with sticks, and then it was like, oh, some kids were doing stuff with firecrackers, and then it was like, oh, there's 50 kids, but then all these people are posting like, well, how come you don't see these kids that are fighting with sticks or the kids with firecrackers? You know, there's no videos of that, but you know, like I don't know, it's really trippy.
Yeah, you don't see no videos of kids fighting and stuff like that. It makes no sense that that many cops will be there for kids fighting with sticks, especially
Yeah,
in Bayside. Like I've been to Bayside tons of times and never seen anything like that happen. Like even when there's shootings, there isn't that many cops. So
yeah,
that goes to show you, that goes to show you like if not even when there's shootings, there's that many cops where like they empty a whole precinct like that.
right.
Yeah, it's there's something bigger than what's being told, for sure.
Well, hopefully we can see like some more footage. It seems like everybody's got a camera. There's cameras on the building, so hopefully they didn't get all that footage and scrub it. But I would love to see more of what actually was going on there. That'd be great to know.
Yeah, for sure. And then some people were saying that maybe that area got hit with like an EMP or something because a lot of people's phones weren't working or some shit like that. So it's pretty crazy. Like you don't know if whatever it was that was over there was like disrupting, you know, electronics around the area or something like I don't know. It's pretty crazy though.
And then you guys had the tornado down there, and I think in Fort Lauderdale there was like a tornado going through like downtown. Like it's weird what's going on in southern Florida, you know, and
Right? Like, what's next? Well, I'll tell you what,
BKFC.
February 2nd, there's gonna be more destruction coming.
I'm excited. I actually get to go to this fight. We arranged it, so I have some work down there. So I get to go and I get to meet all you guys. So I've been to one other event. I went to the first pay per view in Colorado, but this will be an exciting experience for me.
Nice, nice. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see you out there. It's gonna be fun.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
the way
Oh,
the Hard Rock is set, my bad. The way the Hard
no,
Rock is set up, man, it's my favorite place to fight at here in Florida, to be
so
honest.
I was watching Mike and Mish, and that's what they said. They said, at first they thought it wasn't going to be a very good venue, but they said it is like the probably the best venue for fighting that they've been to.
Yeah, for sure. Because like it's right in the middle, like dead smack in the middle of the casino. When you, as soon as you walk out of the venue, like the auditorium where they have the fights, they have a restaurant bar, another restaurant bar. The whole casino floor is there. They have like five or four other restaurants inside the casino.
Okay.
They have two clubs in the casino. They mostly, you know, they throw like after parties and stuff like that. So it's just like it's like the most ideal place to, you know, celebrate a fun win, especially after a crazy event.
Cool. Okay, so if people wanted to follow you, is Instagram the best place, or Facebook, or you have a website that you want to promote, or?
Yeah, so I would say my Instagram,
Okay.
both Instagrams for my fight page and my real estate page. It'll be they both start off the same. It'll be JOMI underscore, and then for my fight page is underscore Kung Fu, and then for my
Mhm.
real estate page is underscore real estate.
Okay, sure. And I'll go in. I follow your kung fu one, so I'll be sure to include a link for both of those too. All right. Well, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
I thank you, brother. Can't wait to see you over here, man. Get ready
You
for
bet.
these hands to do some damage.
Right on, dude. Thank you.
All right, brother.